Hi, my name is Ella and I am ThePlantsMeow, and welcome to the video that I literally took like 7 months to make. A lot of my break has been, generally I've just been really busy, and then it got to the point where it just had been so long that I just got really nervous about going in front of the camera. So today I'm finally making myself record a video. I hope this looks/sounds good. It's been a while since I set up my camera, so sorry if there's anything wonky with this video. Today is really just going to be me repotting my variegated Billietiae, and he's right over there. So here is my big guy. He has grown super quickly. This was actually a 2-leaf top cutting off of my mother plants, and that was back in like December, I believe. So since then he has really flourished. And it's just doing altogether really well and really happy, especially since I switched him over to Lechuza. I find that, like the regular Billietiae, they are super fast and rigorous growers. Now initially when I switched over to pond, it was for my anthuriums, and I wanted to basically give them self-watering reservoirs, and it was because I was watering them so frequently. So I was really skeptical about switching philodendron over, but I know some people had done really well with it. So I switched over this plant, and I believe my pink princess, and that was a couple months ago. I believe it's been maybe 3 to 4 months since he's been in this pot, and he has completely outgrown it. So we're giving him a much larger pot today, and one that's actually really tall, so I could just put him on the floor and don't have to put this plant on a plant stand. Because when you have leaves like this that are just kind of really large, I find that it's pretty important to put them high up, especially with my cats in the house. So today also doubles as a how do philodendrons do in Lechuza video. You'll get to see the root system, how much it's outgrown its reservoir. It's actually really surprising. I mean, I'm used to pond, so I know what to expect in the root growth, but I feel like a lot of people, when they think like, oh, 3 to 4 months, like in a planter, like he'll be fine, right? Well, there's no way I can keep him in this pot any longer, and you will totally see why when I just lift him out of this. So really quickly, I'm just gonna give you a look at how he currently looks like in this pot, so you guys can get a really, really good look. But if you look in this water meter area, you can see root growth in here already. So he's just completely just like overtaken this whole thing. Gosh. And as you can see, just growing along the edge of the pot. So, don't know if I can get this out. Okay. So yeah, but just a large mass of roots that has been growing in there. One thing I have learned with Lechuza is that you can't be afraid to lose some roots, because when they outgrow the reservoir at this rate, it's almost impossible to save them because it's such fine little holes that they have to escape from. And getting them back in there is really ridiculous. So, but today I am gonna try to get him out of it pretty much as best as I can. But like foliage, roots expect to be pruned back, and they can also benefit and thrive from that. Now these are really healthy roots, so I hope it doesn't come to that, but I will try my best. So the first thing I'm gonna do is just dunk out as much of the pond as I can. And I'm actually gonna go get gloves, because honestly, dealing with pond, like I've been dealing with it especially a lot the last couple days because I've been kind of repotting some plants, and the rocks, so I mean the scratching level is ridiculous. But yeah, I've gotten to the point where too much skin is coming off around my nails. So yeah. Also, I'll show you the pot that I'm putting him in. This is a Rondo Premium 32 size. So initially I wanted to buy, this only comes in 2 sizes, and I wanted to buy the 40 because I figured, you know, the Billietiae would need a larger pot. But I bought the 32, and it's pretty massive, so there's no reason to upsize it that much. Now, I got it for its height, so a good portion of it is just the height. And this is pretty much the actual pot and the reservoir. So, pot, easy to lift out from. Looks like it's about a 5-gallon pot, and a gallon of it at the bottom is just your water reservoir, as you can see is in the inner one. I've already filled it with about 2 to 3 inches of pond, and I likely won't fill it all the way with pond, because it is a very deep pot. I didn't expect the size. I just don't want to up pot it too much. What I will do is put it like a bit deeper in the pot and then just kind of add pond to the top as I need to. Watch me finagle this. But yeah, you want to be gentle when you're repotting things from pond, because a lot of the times if you press too hard, the roots will break off. They are sharp rocks, so you have to be like kind of conscientious of like how you're doing this. Okay, so making a lot of headway. Before I go any further, I'm just going to try and untangle these roots a little bit. There's just so much here and I really don't want to lose anything. But they're pretty fine roots, so it gives me a bit of hope that I can get them out. So I do expect a lot of these finer roots, these more secondary roots, to just kind of fall off as I pull them through the pot, and hope the main root at least keeps. I may preemptively pull some off just because I don't want to lose the main root. All right, back to this. Yeah, see, that just all fell off. Like I said, I'm not gonna pot it too deeply because this is a really big pot. But the good thing about putting this plant in so deep and then having it completely covered where these aerial roots are gonna grow is that it's gonna continue to root along the stem. So that is really ideal, especially for this plant where the internodal spacing is just so short. Having a good root system going up the plant is great, especially if you plan to propagate it in the future. All right, and that's pretty much as deep as I'm gonna put them. So as you can see, there's still a ton of room in there for me to backfill it even more as it gets older. So now I'm going to put this inner pot in the outer pot, and I'll just go ahead and show you what that looks like. And this is the big, beautiful guy in his pot. You can just tell how massive he is. And I feel like this pot just really like complements him in a way that like, I feel like makes sense for the size of the plant. Like he's really getting up there in size. Like this is one of the newest leaves and it's just really big. And here's another one. Those were like the last two leaves. So I actually ended up selling my just regular Billietiae because I felt like having this plant kind of satiated that, I guess having that plant in general, because this plant also produces green leaves. So it's kind of like, I didn't need two of these to grow really huge. And that guy was growing enormous. Like this one was behind him in growth. That's how big he was. But I'm super, super happy with him. Also, it's so funny because I remember when I bought this plant and I was so ashamed to talk about its price because I thought like that was the most I had ever spent, and I thought that that was just completely like ridiculous. But I paid $800 for like a 5-leaf or 6-leaf plant, and clearly I bought it at the right time though, so I don't regret that purchase. Now I think of it as a very good purchase because I would not be owning this plant right now otherwise. The market on these guys has just gone insanely high. I'm just gonna show you all of him because he's a frickin' gem. Like just how beautiful. And even these green leaves, like So beautiful. I had a really difficult time selling my green one, but this guy puts out green leaves, so I had to justify it and just be like, no, you don't need this plant. Like, it just doesn't make sense. So one is enough. Actually, I have a few of these, so I mean, Billy's all around. So stinking pretty though. So I'm really glad with how it turned out. Now, I do like the look of the variegated Billietiae when it's not so deep in a pot and it's kind of just really sprout out, and I love the way that looks on the plant. And it kind of bums me out that I do have to plant him so deep because the pot is so gigantic and his root system does not match. But I think this is an ideal scenario, especially as he grows, he can root up that stem, and I can go ahead and cut him should the day arise where I feel like it might be a good idea to. At this moment, I do not have any plans to cut him because I love him so much. And these plants are very difficult to propagate. The last time I propagated it from the mother plant did not do well. The cuttings that came from it, some of them did really well and they grew variegated, but the majority reverted to green. So it makes me think when this plant is stressed, it just kind of reverts and doesn't do as well. But that's not to say you can't get some really cool plants out of this. So this is my main plant. I have a couple others that are much smaller, but he is amazing and I'm really obsessed with how he's growing. So I'm really excited to have like a really cool stand for him and watch him grow really massive, because that's definitely my goal, is to just let him go as big as he wants to go. Also, I know this was a really short video. I do apologize for that, but thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.